Hello.
Hello.
Ah!
You're not even wearing headphones.
My ear just started ringing for no reason.
Should I poke you in the eye?
No, stop with the personal attacks from my space.
I'm trying to help you. I don't know why you don't want to be helped. Welcome back to another episode of We Talking About. I'm Zim,
Lee.
and today I have a question for you, Lee.
I can't handle this. What?
Oh, you're
What is
going to
the
handle it.
Oh, God.
You have the ability to go back in time 25 years to start your life over knowing what you know now, or you're going to be fast forwarded 5 years, losing those, and you'll have $20 million tax-free.
Well,
Which one of those would you choose? You can only have one.
I go back in time. My brain is in my younger body.
Correct?
Only 25 years, though.
Only 25 years.
So what does that
I
put
feel like that's
me?
almost ideal. You don't want to go back all the way because
Yes,
you don't
I
want
do.
You want to redo
Yes,
potty
I
training
do.
and shit.
I do. I want to do everything.
I would go back and I would be like 4
100%.
and some change.
I go back to being 4, sure.
Well, that's what I'm. Yeah, that's 25 for me. 25 for
I
you
would
is
be
different.
older than 4.
I know.
That would be a raw deal.
Well,
That's where it
still,
started.
You still have that much more information.
Possibly even 3.
4 is fine for me. If I were going to take it, that would be 4. And I think about this a lot, and I like, it's interesting to think that going
You
back
think
in
about
time.
this a lot?
Well, going back in time would
Yes.
change things, this and that. I do.
Right, yeah.
This exact scenario, I think
I was
about
going
a
to
lot.
say this dilemma of which one to do.
No,
That's
well,
unusually specific.
more often than most, but not
Probably.
not more often than you'd think. If you were to go back in time, we have it pretty good right now, and it could totally change,
For the better.
or for the worse.
For the better.
Because sometimes just trying to do something good does not necessarily mean good things are going to happen. Let's say go back in time, you're like, I know Yahoo stock and Apple and Microsoft, that shit's gonna be good. But could me trying to get like people of to listen to me and do that, could that get me put in some sort of a mental institution? Who knows?
Most likely. Or like investigated for fraud. It's like, how does he know? How does he know about iPods? He's crazy.
Or like your parents could get arrested for fraud because like they'd be the one buying it. Why is everything they do a hit? What are they spies?
A series of dummy corporations and charities.
I don't know.
No, like, I don't have any specific schemes. I'm not a person that has a tremendous amount of regrets, but I'm definitely a person who spent a large part of their childhood like as a weird person, not like living
you wanna be
or
weirder?
whatever. Well, I'd like to, with the benefit of knowing of like the future and how things, like how little certain things matter and how much other things do. I think that I could just say like, no, you don't want to end up like that. Let's do this like much earlier and just like get shit like squared away or whatever, right?
There's certain things that would be interesting, that are definitely not the right path to do on a restart, but would be fun. Like going back in time to the age of 4, 5, 7, whatever, and taking that youth and knowing that nothing matters, like school or bullshit or the friends you have then, and going, all right, I'm going to spend every minute practicing, anything, basketball. The guitar.
Well,
And just be like, all right, and now instead of bullshit, it's like, no, I failed every grade, but I'm Jimi Hendrix.
I think it's funny that you say that. I very much do, because that's what I meant by having like a weird childhood. For now today I can play guitar, and I have a job in like computer stuff or like whatever. For a period of maybe, I don't know, starting at like 11 until like 17, maybe 5, 6 years, I would come home from school and either play guitar or like do programming shit, like every day.
So we should rather just
like,
pick one and stuck
for
with
like
it?
hours. No, but like that's why I got the job I have, and it's all caked up, and that's why I can play guitar. And I think I could have chosen either, but the day job like worked out or like whatever. And I have zero regrets about any of that. I actually did that in like real life or whatever the fuck. But in my limited time outside of that, and in my time before or after that, I was way too hung up on stuff like you were just hinting at, where it's like, who cares? You're moving next year. I don't care about you. Where like you could totally just squash a lot of other stuff and be even more focused and like good and all that. We're kind of ignoring the other option of warping forward and getting money. I assume you don't want that either.
It's not that I don't want
Yeah.
that, but the limited time I have on this earth,
No,
5 years gone, is bad. But, I've always been the thought of this where, it's like, well, giving up 5 years for $20 million tax-free is not necessarily, giving up 5 years, because you would be working for 5 years to not walk away with $20 million. And it's 5 years where I didn't have to eat, I don't have to sleep, I don't have to do any bullshit.
Expense free.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So all you know.
No, like it's not unappealing, and like I would not be like 40, like I wouldn't be like old or whatever. I can't wait till I'm 40, and I say 40 is not old or whatever. But at the moment, 40 seems old. I wouldn't be 40, but I would still be old enough where I'd be like, well, if, like that much money's a lot of money, I guess. But still, I'd be kind of like, fuck.
It's certainly a lot of money, and if that amount of money were to fall into my lap right now, I'd be like, I can do everything in the world.
Right.
But you can never, like, I could just naturally die tomorrow.
You could be hit by a bus.
And
yes.
you never know. So, like, the idea of like, I know I live this long, to get these years back.
Yeah, I think
is pretty good.
I think the reset. I actually think at a certain point when I was a kid, after something like that had happened, or I had like learned a lesson or something, I was like, "Fuck!" Like I wish this was all a dream, and I could wake up and take my notebook next to my bed and jot all this shit down and be like, "Okay, I got it now. I'm not gonna fuck that up or whatever," you know.
That would be cool. I feel so like there was in X-Men. There's Mr. Sinister. You're familiar with Mr. Sinister?
He's the guy wearing lipstick.
Yes.
Really?
He's like a goth vampire looking dude.
Oh. Then I am.
But he's like a
familiar with Mr.
scientist,
Sinister.
and there's a specific like thing I'm thinking of where he's like outside of the time stream and he's hopping in and out because he's doing experiments that he can then check on like 30 years down the line because he's like hopping in and hopping back to see how they go.
Yeah.
And like there's that kind of thing that like that I'm like, that'd be kind of cool because like. Not that you could perform an experiment, but you're like, all right, so that girl who was not very attractive in high school, who's a model now. No one liked her then. You could be like, all right, we're going to be friends, and when I have YouTube videos, you could be a thumbnail. Like,
right, or all those, like, because, you know, if you really break it down, I'm not really being specific because it's, like, my life or whatever, but, like, no one, like, accidentally died or something, like, super bad happened. Nothing was, like, crazy, but they're just all, like, a million little things where it's like, okay, that didn't really turn out to be anything. Maybe if I was a little bolder, or maybe I should just ignore it, and you could just pick one and try it rather than like wasting time and worrying about it. No, you could just be like, well, I know that nothing happened in like my actual past, so let's just see what I'll just roll the dice and figure out maybe okay, whatever, you know.
I think like pre-14 I would have kicked more people's asses.
Sure, back when it was
I
cool.
can't go to jail yet.
I'm immune to that.
Or just like starting like making videos younger, like doing things.
Well,
Here's something
those are
I
some
thought
of the
about.
most critical years that we're talking about.
What
yeah.
would somebody have to say to you to convince you they knew you in the future?
God damn it.
And I was trying to think of this myself because I'm like, what if I was
Speaking
trying to
of
like
time travel,
trying to get like
yeah,
my
how would you
crew but get
convince
them
yourself?
earlier? Like, what would I have to then? Like, you'd need to like think of something like, what could somebody tell you that would let you
Right, like
know they do indeed know you?
I was gonna say. So wait, you coming back? Like, is
So let's say I took the
So-
traveling back in time thing, right?
Yeah.
And I'm 4. I wait a reasonable time till I'm like 9, and I find you and go like, hey Lee, I knew you.
We're gonna meet up.
Like we're besties in the year 2016. We got to start that now. We can take over the fucking world. So like, what would I have to say to you for you to know that I'm not full of shit? I'm not a crazy person.
So like, do I get to tell you the secret message before you leave to give to younger me?
No. I'm asking that question now, but I was thinking, what would I even like? Could I even convince people?
You could not.
Would it even be worth
Yeah.
telling them, or would it like it just have to do this and that, the other thing? Like there are certain things I could hint to you and say like this, like I know Bubba, trust me, and like assuming you didn't brush me off, every once in a while I would drop things like Will Smith's gonna make a movie where he's a cowboy, like
Exactly.
and like
yes,
I could like
that,
say
that's
things.
probably the fucking like that's like the money or something like that. Because certain
This
stuff.
would be a great premise for a TV show.
Well, 'cause
a guy
there's-
who goes
yeah.
back in time.
Because there's stuff that you know about me now that I don't even know about myself yet. Again, nothing ground shaking, but weird stuff where you'd be
You
like,
lost your testicle in Vietnam.
like something
on
about
vacation.
something about Linux, and I'd be like, I haven't heard of Linux yet. Like that's like a joke. I want to put Linux on everything or something like that. But like,
Yeah.
I'd be like, what? You're
Because
weird.
it would
kid?
have to be really personal things. Because anything else could be like, you were just watching me. You looked at my parents' names in the directory. You blah,
Right,
like you
right.
know.
Couldn't be a fact. It'd have to be like you like to smell everything before you eat it, and I'd be like, like how did you know that about
But
me?
even that, it'd be like, you watched me once.
Right.
What kind
That's
of fake
true.
gypsy shit is this? Because I'm very skeptical. I'm like, what would they have to say to me
I know it's like a tough
for
thing.
me to know some shit?
I'd probably never believe it, no matter what you said. I would just then be like, how the fuck did he know that?
So
weird
here's
thing,
another one.
right?
How would let's say it doesn't break time, but you can go back and meet yourself.
Oh,
if
yeah.
you had to convince yourself you were you as older, what would you say?
Oh God, I don't even know. Some like specific thing or some weird thing.
Is there anything that you
I'm
could
me,
think of
and
that
he-
would make you know you're you?
And I'd be like, "You're not me from the future. What the hell?" I don't have any like. This would be like a dark secret, some weird thing that only I know, right?
okay.
Because I don't
Maybe.
I don't really have anything like that.
I think I could get myself by naming like 100 superheroes I've created because
okay,
nobody
okay.
else, like a lot of these things don't exist anywhere else
I
except
was
up
gonna
in
say
here.
I'm not sure what year because I too have a paracosm as I now know it's called thanks to Max Landis, but I don't know what year I thought of different elements of it or whatever and whether or not I'm like fuck I'd probably fuck that
I
up
think
at
if
this
I
point.
just kept running through it, even once it didn't exist in that
just
time,
be like-
I'd be like, "Yep."
Oh shit. Yeah, dude, exactly.
But if you were like, "Name your phone number as a kid," I'd be like, I don't even know my phone number as a kid. Name your phone number like 7 years ago. I'm like, I think that's one I have now. But if it's not, I don't know what it was. Like,
Right.
What was your address?
Sounds
I have no
familiar.
idea.
We don't know our phone numbers now. We don't know like fuck.
I'm the worst with like
Yeah.
any memory thing, really, unless it's something really fun. But yeah, so that was my interesting thing. So I
That's
think we've both
interesting.
chosen go back in time 25
I
years.
don't think that I can choose to go forward even for money because like time is really the most valuable thing that there actually is. So it's like the allure of redoing your life and like fixing everything. Even if it goes horribly wrong, it's still more fun because you get double the amount of life, which
Yeah,
I'm like into no matter what, right?
I think on a
can't
side note,
choose
if
the
I
other
was
one.
able to give myself a handwritten note from myself,
Yeah.
that would convince me because my handwriting is specific enough that I don't think it could be copied easily.
Right, you would look at it like, whoa, this is me or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess I don't have any.
This is I don't know if I ever told you this. So when we were in like high school, they had us write a letter to ourselves, and then you put it in an envelope, and it's like given to the teacher, and they post date it for like 10 years or 7 years or whatever in the future, 5 years, I forget what it is. But like I made mine like a threat. And it was so weird because I'd forgotten it ever existed,
And you get this weird threatening letter from yourself.
it wasn't like I didn't label the outside. It was like an envelope from like like the Board of Education, blah blah blah. I'm like, what do these bitches want? Money? And it was like, fuckhead, don't. I was like, what the hell is this?
Don't give up on your dreams. You're like, what? Who are you? Written in your crazy serial killer handwriting.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's
No.
how I know. Without a doubt, I would believe because I was like, what is this? And it took me a little while
Did
to
you
realize.
have that awesome moment when you're like, what? Or something like that? When
It
you
was.
didn't
I
realize
read it like
was
3
you?
times before I realized. I knew almost immediately that it was my handwriting,
Okay.
but I didn't know what it was. I was like, what is this?
That's fucking. I love those parts of life when like you've moved something or like you go to do something but you already did it but you forgot and you're like, what? Did I do that with my mind? Holy shit! Like that feeling of like,
It's like when you open the fridge because you're
Time
hungry
travel.
and mom made a lasagna and you're like, oh my god.
Or
Same
it's like,
thing.
Where would we have hid the keys? All right.
Yeah.
You take it out like that's the fucking.
I want to make a time travel movie so bad.
I want to travel through time and tell myself how to get $20 million.
That's not
I would
true.
go back and just tell myself, no, take the 5 years of $20 million, and then the loop would end and all that stuff, and I get to do both. I solved the paradox.
That's actually kind of genius.
I solved the paradox as a bonus to the question. We're done.
That's actually genius because you could set yourself up to have so much money and awesome shit and blah blah, blah and then you know the date it's coming and say put all your money into a 5-year CD and then you come out of the 5 years you get $20 million and whatever you had.
Like you make sure you're like the optimal physical whatevers and all
Yeah.
that stuff. That's more for me than you, but yes, just because you're like, listen, it's all gonna pay off.
That can be pretty dope.
Also, don't talk to Carol. Done. Like fix it all.
Don't call Jane from HR a bitch. It won't end well.
Get shit on
She's
Carol's
a
desk.
blabbermouth. Like a boss. Alright guys, so that was this edition of We Talking About. It has a nice little question. Until next time, don't die in a fire.